You become a little gay when you're like, yeah, but like, what? But have you heard Into the Woods? I think ska has never made me cry.
You're not doing it right. Nah.
Show me the ska album that makes you cry, and I'll show you a pussy.
And then again, I think that's just part of the culture. Like, put me a norteña, and I'm down to wail, you know? But then again, tragos de amargo licor, you know? Okay, man. Because she's behind the Puerta Negra with tres candados.
I like those corridos. I like norteñas, right? Like you've heard me like play a lot of Rigo Campos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like thinking about ska and thinking about like emotion that like ska could produce. I it makes me wonder like why I have never really connected with ska in any other way that I want to just dance to it.
Yeah, just really pop out.
Like Marcy and I covered Jeff Rosenstock's 2016 album.
Festival?
No, it's Worry.
Right.
And like like in it I enjoyed the music. In some of it's about like heartbreak, and it's not exactly ska, right? But it's like Jeff Rosenstock, you know. So like, it's a little punk, it's a little ska, it's a little like, it's a little hey, you know, yeah, I'm having fun, and yeah, I've drank 3 PBRs in the last hour.
Yeah, no. When I first heard about that album, the way I was told about it is like it's 30-year-old emo music.
And you were like, where?
Yeah, I was like,
wait, they just put this online?
Yeah. So like again, like I see what you're saying, and it's the same with like ska is really more of like you're hearing the music and it's wanting to just shake those hips.
Let's think of it like this. It's like maybe I'm like emotionally stunted because I can't cry to ska. But what I do know is that ska has a twin flame, a dragon upon a dragon. A one star in the many star system that creates a constellation that says, I love music. I deeply love music. I'm a typophile. An audio one. Ska is connected deeply to reggae.
Yeah.
And today, in Dove Weather, I'm your Dove AP, and I am sitting in a cold, dark Chicago, occupied Chicago fall night with the only other dragon that can fly alongside a ska reggae constellation. A lot of mixed metaphors here.
A lot. Good thing you're not writing a book.
I'm sitting with someone who loves music, who is music, who's Musical.ly, who's TikTok.ly, who knows how to balance a ball and balance a beat, someone who has the understanding of how to occupy space, interpret space, and educate.
People don't understand that reference.
Someone who I call up whenever I have a flat in my bicycle. Today I am sitting next to the one and only Coach Chris.
Put instead of like a horn going brr, 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 put a like coach whistle going.
No, I'll put
Yeah.
but just enough to like to make you question, is that a Mexican at the distance? Or someone crying?
Or La Llorona.
And today I'm sitting with Coach Chris because I was sitting in my little cave. 0 windows, 0 natural light, and like surrounded by stacks and stacks of speakers. You've heard of the wall of sound? I had the room of sound.
And that's why we keep you in that dark, cold room in the basement.
I got a ping that said, I have an idea. I want to talk about a guy close to my heart. A man that lives within me. A man that I might want to KISSIU.
LOVE?
You. And like... And he buttered it up by saying, "Oh, and it's also like it's about your color, man. You know, it's about your style, brother."
And nothing runs deeper within you than that.
He said, "I want to talk about the Jamaican superstar, the slackness, the man who brought you Shabba Ranks, and the man that brought you dance hall and reggae." In the way that only a British white boy could understand and appropriate. He said, "Hey, AP, I want to talk about Yellowman." Now, Coach Chris, tell me, why did he bring Yellowman into Dubwater, and why did he bring these two albums?
Well, I have been trying to bring Coheed into Dubwater. But I brought Yellowman because, honestly, again, as the quote-unquote music guy, for the official quote-unquote music guy for Dubweather, I don't know, man. Something about Yellowman just hit where it's like picking up the mantle of King of Jamaica.
The Lion.
After we've lost the great Bob Marley.
The big one.
Yeah. You know, like, goddamn, like, he hit it and he hit it hard. He hit it hard, dropping in what my understanding in 2 points back-to-back years, 5 albums within each year. So it's like, you can't snooze on this. Like, we gotta talk about this, man. And his rise and shouldering the heaviness that comes with carrying the crown of being the king of reggae and Jamaica, basically in hand.
To the point of like being recognized by the state, by being an OD.
Oh, no, exactly. Which I thought was, because I remember when I was reading about that, I was like, what the fuck is OD? Like, if I read correctly,
It's the Order of Distinction.
Yeah, which again, like when I first saw it, I didn't even think about something regal as that. I thought, shit, this guy fucking over. And no, the Yellowman is the purest form of reggae. Fucking,
It's like, look, let me speak to the American audience here. It's kind of like if you were made a Kentucky Colonel.
oh hell yeah, yeah.
It's just it's an honorific to be like, hey, you know, we as Jamaicans, as the Pueblo of Jamaica,
Yeah.
we think you're pretty chill. Here's a ribbon.
Yeah. Which again, amazing to thinking with the struggle he faced before even achieving that feat, which I would say is like pretty quickly, you know. If I remember correctly, he was only in his 20s when he hit the scene hard. And again, to have to pick up the mantle after Bob Marley passed and fucking hold it down, to then lead into things like Shabba Ranks, fucking a bunch of people I'm forgetting
But
now.
even down to like the decades later, where like figures like Skepta kept that same life and joy that came from the like multicultural and intercultural like spreading of the reggae and dance hall sound. I love Skepta.
Yeah. I don't think I actively listen to Skepta, to be honest. I hit a lot of old reggae more than anything.
Well, yeah, you only have room for one man in your heart.
And that's the Yellowman in my heart.
They use this word slack or slackness to describe him.
And basically, hands down, given as quote unquote one of the pioneers of the slackness sound. You know, he's one of the handful of toasters, which is what you would call like a Jamaican MC or the accompanied member with the DJ out at the dance hall sets out in the streets that they would do, right? That really brought in that slacklessness, that brought in that vulgarity, I guess you could put it down in the more understandable form.
In a less Jamaican way.
Yeah, in a non-using colloquialism way, yeah.
If you're from Boise, Idaho, let's just say like, vulgar. Oh, this guy's vulgar.
Oh, he must be from Spokane, Washington, then, if he's vulgar.
Oh, that motherfucker is definitely from Spokane. That motherfucker from Eugene, Oregon? If you're from Eugene, Oregon, let's just say Yellowman was considered uncouth.
I would say that, like, to be considered one of the pioneers of that and really push reggae from its pure form that we kind of got through the old heads of like Bob Marley, some Peter Tosh, I forget the guys that do that one song. I would say seismically change the way that music was being done, and to get a lot of pushback as well from the people. Again, the great Jamaican musician Peter Tosh at one point said, "Yo, what are you doing, man? Like, you got a wife, bro."
Yeah.
like tone it down, man.
The shift that is like larger than this that we're gonna get into here. But one of the things that you told me from the very beginning is that like Yellowman did become this like trendsetter, this figure that broke through the no woman no cry sense of things to be like no woman, turn around and spin a little bit in your skirt. I want to see your ass.
Yeah.
Which I have a lot of thoughts on, and you brought me 2 albums to listen to.
Yeah.
There was one that you enjoyed more,
The Zungguzungguguzungguzeng.
which is his second album after the one that I enjoyed more, which is Mister Yellowman.
And I mean, they're both pretty great. And we were talking about this earlier, where you really get the vibe of he's setting down, he's being Yellowman, because again, you really hit those changes and more slacklessness in his later albums, which I haven't really gotten around to all of them.
He's got a million.
Again, dropped 5 albums in, from what I understand, 2 years back to back.
He has one album for the 2 million people in Jamaica.
Yeah. Like that, the prolificness of this man, you know, and again, like you really see that freshman and sophomore effort, but then you see a huge difference between the 2 albums, in my opinion. Like I was telling you, I feel like Mister Yellow really hits a lot on him, but a lot of like vibrato or like hitting back on like, I'm the best in Jamaica. That's why I got this album deal.
Yeah, he pretty much right after winning a contest that he got second place in the year before, he kind of like hit hard and said, "No, I'm Mister Yellowman." And that's kind of like the he's living in the afterglow of winning this like talent championship.
National. Okay? Sorry? National champ. Like he says he's the best in the East, the best in the West.
And there's only 2 directions.
Yeah. Like and he's the best in both of them.
You know, I want to kind of zoom in to this. You know, we're looking at Yellowman from the very beginning. He went on to do a whole bunch of other things. He went on to become Christian. Brother, who amongst us? And so I want to start with Mister Yellowman. I wanna talk about the song that like sat with me, and that you also liked from this 2 to 6 Super Mix.
Mm.
Hearing that song again, I I could say that like this song actually does know the 4 cardinal directions, but he hits on some stuff that I really enjoy about Mr. Yellowman.
Which are?
It's so autobiographical.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's speaking about his self, his experience, the like trueness of all of it. Like this song is exactly, it's kind of, well, he's bragging. He's bragging about winning this contest.
Because he's the best from the East and the West.
And the North and the South. Like he's also talking about this idea that like he's not here to kind of just do one thing. He doesn't have a gimmick.
Just lyrics.
And like I enjoy that. He's not maybe getting into like a deep personal sense. Like he's not talking about like the individual issues that he has in his life, and then like that we need to pity him for, and that we need to understand him in. But he's saying like, I am telling you about my own damn life. Why don't you sit down and then stand up to shake that thing?
No, and that's what I'm saying, man. It's an incredible song. That rawness of being like, this the path I took, bro. And look at this. What's up? See where I'm at? So if you're feeling sick, just rub it down with Vicks, you know? So again, just the depth to it isn't incredibly like lyrically complex, because he doesn't have to be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like he's really just telling you like, bro, I was born with the music within, you know?
I was born to be orphaned because of my albino skin.
Yeah. Like
To make this incredible fun music.
let me show you that this albino yellow man has the rhythm or the, but I think that's, again, and just the way the lyrics flow, again, it's not, you're not getting, like you said when we were talking earlier, like it's not Shakespeare coming through on these lyrics.
Or he's not like, he doesn't hit the lines like MF Doom.
Yeah.
Right? Or even he doesn't even hit the lines like Taylor Swift. Not because Taylor Swift is equivalent to MF Doom, but Taylor Swift is creating a narrative that definitely has a beginning, middle, and end. This is all middle. You like slap into the middle of like being in the joy that Yellowman is feeling. And like the music sonically also has that. Like his voice in the mix is so inside the instrumentals. Like you can hear the synth that is accompanying and creating the rhythm of this song at pretty much the same level as his voice.
And I feel like that's kind of what we were getting at, where it's like, it's just a vibe, honestly. And putting it in that way, you know, the vocals get placed right within it all, right in the middle. It just really goes to show like, no, this is the whole package. Like you're gonna vibe out to the whole thing. You're not gonna pick and choose like, oh, these are my lyrics, or like, oh, I really like the way the typical reggae drums format is hitting here, you know? Like, no, you're lost all within it and you're just vibing out. Like, I really do feel like I'm at a beach chilling out, no care in the world, maybe with a red stripe instead of a Corona.
It is this sense that like you are part of it.
Yeah.
You're every single thing that you're witnessing and existing, you're part of it. And I think this might be part of his like larger philosophy, right? Of this kind of sense of like general, like everyone is everyone.
Yeah.
And and in his music, it really comes through there, right? And I like this song to kind of start the like musical side of this conversation because it just feels like a hangout. I've used the word comfort to describe this his sound a lot, and like not to be confused with this idea of being comfy. It just comfort, just in the general sense of like you're not feeling outside of yourself. You're not exhausted or feeling like you need to deliver effort. It is you are the wave, you're in the wave, you evaporate the wave, and somehow you're still in the wave. In the entirety of these two albums, continue that.
Yeah. The one love. Honestly. Like like again, it really is just that sense of one. Kind of going back to like what does he even mean by 226 super mix in the chorus, right? Which again, I don't understand the meaning behind it. If I look at the lyrics and try to connect it to something, I don't see anything there, but it just hits. It just makes sense. It's like, oh yeah, 226, the super mix, obviously.
Yeah.
Like that, like
226 could be like a drink. You know, like oh, your buddy points at you and like, you want a 26, and then you repeat no 226.
yeah,
Because me and my guy here have to drink one.
exactly.
Like it could be anything. Of course, it probably has an actual meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Except you don't need to know that actual meaning to understand that Yellowman's still like bringing you into his joy, and the joy of winning this contest.
Maybe I'm just jumping to conclusions. Maybe that's what he's trying to get at. Like 226 super mix, where it's like I did a contest. I got second place the first time I did it. And then so I did it again. So I got 2. So I did 2, and I was basically within the last 6, but I'm the super mix.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that is absolutely an interpretation that can be derived from this, because I understand that Yellowman's being autobiographical.
Mm-hmm.
He's also, and even being boisterous, but like listening to this in 2025, it just sounds like he's like one of your dudes that's happy that you're there with him.
Yeah.
And so like I want to continue this, right? This general sense of like he's inviting you to the joy, to the fun, because one of the songs that the other song that I really want to talk about this is a song about, well, Yellowman getting married. So this song, it really is about being happy you're getting married, which is something that like
Ding dong,
Yellowman,
the church bells are ringing, dude.
because Yellowman and his long-term wife are together. This guy's a wife guy.
Oh,
This
hell
guy's
yeah.
married.
That you think you got loyalty? Yellowman sets the example.
And,
okay.
And I just, it's exactly what I mean. It's this sense that like, look, you don't have to be married to be like, hey, I'm happy for this guy. You also don't have to be like interested in the idea of this guy having like, oh, hey, I'm getting married. Oh, you don't have to care about that, because it almost feels like, yeah, he's saying Yellowman, right? But Yellowman is kind of like this kind of figure that you can slide your feet into those boots.
Yeah. walk more than a mile in his shoes. And I would say when you told me you this was one of the songs you picked that you really liked, I was like, of course you would, but like, cause like it is like just straight like, hell yeah, dude, fucking, I found love, and I'm like deep in it, and just make sure you get me to the church on time, because like I want to show her or show them the deep love within me, you know?
They call me Maple the way I sap. Yeah, and it's just this guy being happy about like getting married, and he leaves a door wide open for you to walk into that. It doesn't feel like he's being anything other than like welcoming to his wife and to the listener, and then like doing it on a pretty fucking good beat.
That, and I was telling you this that a thing I like about Yellowman, that's like little Uzi Vert said, I steal my flows like your host, where it's like he's stealing flows but from nursery rhymes, and they just hit so good, man. Like I think this was the My Fair Lady type of cadence of the musicality that he's going with.
It's very approachable,
And
incredibly approachable.
it's so smooth and so, again, jovial, you know? It's like, again, like you really feel the sense of like happiness as like, yo, this guy is like up in cloud nine because like he's gonna get married, and like you can't help but to be there with them because it's just so contagious along with the fucking beat. That beat.
Yeah, it's.
Oh,
I see some similarities in that like accessibility and that kind of like nursery rhyme flow in like a lot of music that I like. You know, I think about like Adrian Lanker. You know, where one song she specifically says "row, row, row your boat," like I mean, which is like funny, but it's also like the way that like Adrian Lanker does it is it's nice. It's nice. And all I'm gonna say is that this song is nice.
it is.
And the reason why I'm gonna say this is because w- th- one of the larger pieces I can't square, maybe because I just lack the understanding of his catalog, is that I don't understand how Mr. Yellowman is considered this like vulgar, difficult, homophobic figure.
Well, what do you mean? He said it earlier within the lyrics, where he's speaking of, make sure if you think I'm sexy, you could touch me or something. I can't remember the lyrics word
But
for word right now. But
that just sounds like he's being horny and telling his own wife to be like, "Yo, put your hands on me, babe."
yo, that's straight vulgarity right there for the eight. No, no, yeah, that like as we talked about it, like maybe within these first two albums, we don't really see the depth of that slacklessness, of that vulgarity, but at least you do quote unquote see the like inklings of it, you know, like he's leading up to it, kind of going back to what I mentioned about the difference between the two albums. Like Mr. Yellow's very freshman based, like again still hyped up about winning the contest and finally getting that record deal, and then putting out this record, and then in a way kind of all of them being bangers, with the difference of his sophomore album where it's a bit more, okay, let me get down to this, like maybe I'm still gonna be braggadocious, still gonna be the Yellow Man, because he's not that Yellow Man or the other Yellow Man, he's the Yellow Man.
In his like second album, Sing a Sing a Sing a Song, is Yeah, it follows it, right? It's kind of like a collaboration also with this guy named Fathead. And in it, like, is there more vulgarity? Sure. But, like, in this album, you liked it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more. And there's one specific song that, like, maybe kind of shows a little of that vulgarity. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So in this song, like, it's still autobiographical.
Very, honestly.
Like, Yellowman is still talking about his own life. He doesn't get into like a larger concept. He is looking at the way that he grew up, the understanding that he understands, and putting it on wax. Like he says, say sufferation, that's all I need. Sufferation, that's all I need. Like, Yellowman grew up in an orphanage. He was given up by his parents. He is albino. He had some difficulty due to discrimination. And he's just being he's delivering a level of honesty here that is, in comparison to Mr. Yellowman, it's a little furtherance of saying, hey, I'm not one of these like rich people, out of here, like leaving the island to like go to fucking Harvard or like fucking uh, Cambridge or fucking Oxford or some shit. No, he is born in the ghetto. He is part of that ghetto. All he knows is suffering.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of add to that, he even says, "I live in Kingston. I don't live in a country." Like, to really, really cement that idea of, like, again, born in the ghetto, grew up on the street. Like, and then it goes into the quote you just said, "Sufferation, that's all I know. Sufferation is all." Again, like, the depth to that and the autobiographicalness, which maybe it's me wanting to create drama fucking 30, 40 years later. But I think this is like a shot at him getting second place on the contest, because he got second place to the great Nita Sunderland. And quote unquote, she kind of had it decent. She was able to focus on her studies while her parents managed her burgeoning musical career after winning the contest. And again, I feel like him winning it the following year, and then getting the record album, and then being able to get a second album produced, kind of falls more into that deepness of the autobiographicalness of, like, yeah, man, I did it through the struggle though. I didn't do it with backing, let alone to an extent the most basic form of backing, which is parental backing,
Yeah.
And I feel like within the good and the bad and the ugly, he kind of hits a little bit of maybe what's the beginning part of, like, slacklessness, being again, maybe not vulgar, but at least more direct about oneself, not just because obviously Bob Marley's talked about struggle, so did all of the other great reggae artists before him. But to call out specifically, like, yeah, man, I grew up in the streets. I was in the ghetto. I was suffering every day. Not just that, but I was suffering due to this thing that I can't control, which is being born with albinism. Because he does bring it up within this song, where it's like, say that me born as a poor man pygmy.
Which pygmy just means child.
Yeah, and he repeats that line again, right? But then he's like, but me say, why them? I fight, I soul. Me, no. Like, kind of saying, like, why can't they? Like why can't they do it? But fuck it, I'ma fight. Because I got that within me the soul, right? But then again, he's like, I don't know though, and he continues it by saying, why them I fight, I soul, me no. Tell them, negro, me yellow. Lord said my feet gonna cream up yellow, and that's why man voice is mellow.
Like all of this is like, he isn't delivering any of this. Like he's not delivering it like the blues.
Yeah.
He's not delivering it in a pained way. He's continuing this general vibe of like
Fact.
interest, excitement. Is for the ears of a 20-25 listener that is not Jamaican, that's what it sounds like to me. He isn't crying. He could wail. You know, we come from a tradition of like wailers. You know, like he is not Juan Gabriel like talking about like the difficulties of his like mother giving him up. Right? He's not breaking down. He's not crying. He's not blowing kisses. Yellowman is just saying, I had this happen. I didn't want it to happen, but it happened. And I find it interesting. I find it interesting because as I was listening to this, reading about Yellowman, I understood that he had his struggles, and also that he was marked with this idea of him being homophobic, or even the general like dance hall genre or reggae being homophobic. And so like I sit there listening to this, listening to the joy that he feels for getting married and so on, and like I just kind of I was bracing myself to hear a slur while hearing these albums.
Yeah.
And that slur, at least to the ears of a 20-25 listener, never arrived. And I don't understand why. I don't understand why he's being painted like this.
I think it comes with the time and place pearl clutching.
But that could be said about anything. About everywhere. Right? Like it could be said about anyone. It could be said about you. It could be said about me. Like it's not like if we were born in a world that's outside of homophobia. It's not like if we were born in a world that is so open and caring and loving and understanding and accepting that like you and I have never been called queer.
Yeah.
Which is not the case. We've been called many things. And I'm the only queer one on mic. So like I just, you know, I was bracing myself every time I was bracing myself. Well, when is he gonna say a slur? And I don't know, because the song, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and generally the album of Sing a Song is the continuance of like, I'm having fun, why aren't you, brother?
Like I'm still popping bottles, bro.
And that continues with this other song, Who Can Make the Dance Ram? Like for an artist that is like marked as homophobic, he's coming in with Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory reference. Who can make the sun shine?
Yeah, it's the Candyman can.
The Candyman can, the Candyman. Who can make tomorrow? Like what is this? Like I'm happy to hear that someone is listening to show tunes and using them for expression. I love that shit. And honestly, that makes you a little gay. No matter who you are, no matter what time, no matter what place, no matter how fucking strong and hetero and cis and powerfully manly you are, you become a little gay. You become a little gay when you're like Yeah, but like what? But have you heard Into the Woods? I might be, I might be a big tough man. I might be singing in the rain, but I still like pussy. Nah, no. Turn that P upside down and turn it around because it's a little bit more than that.
And he says it within the lyrics. Who could make you pop? You know? And I really love the whimsicalness of it by using that cadence of the Candyman for this song, which kind of connecting it to just that idea of like the candy you thinking it from that aspect of like the Candyman, you think within me, like the 7-year-old's like, hell yeah, dude, I'm gonna get hopped up on all the candy, all the nerds, all the Laffy Taffy, all all the Tootsie Pops,
The long Tootsie Rolls.
you know. So like,
There's some listeners out there looking for some long Tootsie Rolls, and boy, you're in the right place. Oh!
who can make it pop? And it's like, again, that jovialness with this song about like, who's gonna make you dance? Who's gonna make you feel the rhythm within and make you wanna drop it like it's hard on the dance floor?
It's just like a fun song. Like there's a line in there that might sound like misogynistic about running down women, but that might just be about like being a mujeriego, just trying to like get laid. And like, is that misogynistic within itself? No, because like there are some women listening to this podcast that are like, "Yo, call me a cheater the way I'm trying to run down these women." What I do know is that it never arrived. That homophobia that I heard, not just from you, but also from like my general reading, never arrived in these two albums. Some of the albums get a little weirder. There's a song called Shorties that we're not really going to get into, but it is undeniably misogynistic. And so, like, look, like, Yellowman is an interesting figure, I think. Because Yellowman represents this idea of what Jamaica is in the white Anglosphere, which is like a fun, interesting, maybe space, but also like kind of backwards to the point that it's homophobic. So, like, I want to play a game here.
Is it misogynistic?
So, it's not misogynistic.
No, I'm saying like the game. Like, is it misogynistic? Yes or no?
It is. This game is homophobia.
Oh, okay. I was close, but the wrong way. Yeah.
So, like, I want to say, I'm gonna read you this because this is directly from the yellow mouth of the Yellow Man, and he said this in 2005, a cool 20 years ago. He said, "I don't do songs against gay people. I don't do violent lyrics against gay people. If you don't like a gay person, or you don't like a thing, you don't talk about it. You don't come on stage and say kill them or burn them because everybody have a right to live." Like he goes on to say that, like, he was an albino in this place and like didn't like albinos, but check this out, like, albinism is a disability, and like a disability everywhere in the world is discriminated against. It just so happens to be that he grew up in Jamaica, in a world where that albinism is incredibly noticeable. And so, like, I want to play this game. We're talking about 2005. So I am going to read you some sentences here, some quotes here, and I want you to, one, guess who might have said it,
Okay.
and 2, when they said it. In relation to Yellowman saying this. Yellowman being so honoring and saying, I don't do violent lyrics against gay people. Were there activists who were ahead of their time? Well, that was true in every human rights and civil rights movement. But the vast majority of Americans were just waking up to this issue and beginning to think about it and grasp it for the time. And think about their neighbor down the street who deserved to have the same rights as they did, or their son, or their daughter. Who might have said this?
Musical artist said this.
You know what? It's a very prominent person.
That sounds like just a word salad. It's someone just trying to cop out by not. God damn, dude! Like
You understand this person very well because I can tell you that the moment I say the name, you're like, yeah, a word salad is the best they got.
let me put a year on this and say it's 98, and I don't know who.
98. Okay, interesting.
Because I mean, I always accustomed to the first wave being in the 90s of people trying to stop being just general dicks.
This was Hillary Clinton. Look, better a word salad than the Amy Klobuchar using a comb to eat your salad. You know?
When?
So this was said in. Let me give you some info here. Maybe you could
Okay.
still guess the date, the year.
All right.
This was said in relation to a law that was passed in 1996 called Defense of Marriage Act that was signed into law by rapist Bill Clinton. A law banning same-sex marriage by the federal state, which passed with a veto-proof majority. I mean, I'm sure Bill hated signing that, but that is what is in relation to this quote. Can you guess the year?
I mean, I'm gonna give myself bonus points for calling the 90s queen, who is Hillary Clinton.
The person stuck in the 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Her and every other millennial.
God damn.
Every other 60-year-old millennial.
Dude, this is so hard because America's just so homophobic.
This was said 7 years after Yellowman in 2014.
Fucking shit, man.
Which is
Like you're supposed
like
to
we're
do.
still with her,
Exactly.
but not with that.
God damn it, dude. All right, hit me with the next one.
Look. Maybe the first one was too difficult. So let me say this.
Okay.
This is the quote. I am a strong supporter of civil unions. As you say, I have been, to this point, unwilling to sign on to same-sex marriage, primarily because of my understanding of traditional definition of marriage. Maybe let's start with this. Maybe this is
Mitt Romney?
Why do you say Mitt Romney?
I don't know. It just sounds like a Mitt Romney sort of statement.
You're saying this is Republican coded.
To an extent, yes.
You're saying this Mormon coded.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know,
Which white man said it then?
this is a Chicago native.
Ah, su puta madre, güey.
This is a fellow with a library in the city, brother. This was your and my
Rob?
president, Barack Hussein Obama.
Sorry, I only voted for him illegally
Same.
to bomb Yemenis kids, you know?
That's what he ran on. Look. Okay, look. Okay, yeah. It's very difficult to differentiate Obama versus the typical Republican. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But can you guess the year?
Can I get a hint? Just yes or no?
You will not get a hint.
Okay. Oh, wait.
Nice. You were close. This was said in 2010.
Shit.
5 years after Yellowman said, yeah, be chill with gay people.
Fucking a whole year and a half into his fucking presidency then.
Look.
Just give me the Mitt Romney quote. No.
Look, maybe I'm being too difficult. Maybe I'm being way too difficult. Let me give you this one.
Okay.
Let me give you this one. I've got so many gay fans, and they're so loyal to me, and they really lift me up. They'll always stand by me, and I'll always stand by them. I'll give you this hint. It's not a politician. It's not someone in politics. They've never held a elected position.
Okay, but how much did they contribute to someone's political campaign?
In 2025, a lot. Like I can tell you, this person.
Taylor Swift?
This person's done a lot. Is that your final answer?
Katy Perry.
Okay. Look, you're thinking of pop girlies.
I am thinking of pop girlies.
Can you think of maybe a contemporary of those pop girlies? Maybe someone that was born that way?
Dude, really? Gaga?
Lady Gaga said this.
In 2012?
She said this in 2009.
Shit.
4 years after Yellowman. Now, Lady
She should have just kept that poker face then.
Lady Gaga was 23 at the time, which is great. You know, like she came out like pro-gay, like decades earlier in her life than Yellowman did, which is like incredible, you know? And like, yeah, she is also bisexual. And yeah, she's also Christian. And yeah, she was born this way. Okay, so like, but it's just an example of like when Yellowman was talking about this versus like these
Other people.
figures.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you one. I'm gonna give you one last chance here. One last chance.
Okay. I could get 1 out of 4.
I'm gonna say the quote, and I want you to tell me once again. You know what? I'll give you the hint now. It's another music person.
Okay.
They tapped his Bible and said, God come to earth and saw people sticking it wherever and doing it with whatever. And he just cleared it all out. He was just like, enough.
All right. And you gave me the hint that this is also a music person.
Mm-hmm. I'll even go as far as to say that this is a...
No. Leave it off at that. Leave it off at
Okay.
that. I want to guess it. I want to guess it. God damn. That just sounds so conservative to me for some reason. All right. Hands down. Let me say Chris Rock. I don't know, 2024.
It was Prince.
Sex icon Prince?
Yeah, androgynous
Sex icon Prince. Steal your bitch with my 4-inch heels Prince.
Yeah.
Fuck.
A nice couch Prince. Yeah.
Fucking shit, dude. Wait. So it's Prince then.
Yeah.
So sex icon Prince.
Can you guess?
So like what? 80 something, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s.
Ah, you wish. He said this 3 years after Yellowman said, "Hey, gay people are chill."
God.
Now the same thing with Gaga, right? Like, it's not like if Prince was homophobic or like pro-gay. Honestly, like, from what I could tell, like, who knows? Like, who knows? But I could tell you that this quote is generally really less about homophobia as much as like Prince was just being a fence sitter, just being a real glory seeking and well scented centrist because he was focused on blaming both major parties. I mean, like the kind of general quote is this. This is from like a conversation he was having with the New York Times. He pointed to the Bible, but there the problem from interpretation. And you got some churches, some people basically doing things and saying it comes from here, but it doesn't. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you've got blue, you've got the Democrats, and they're like, you can do whatever you want, gay marriage, whatever, but neither of them is right. He was talking about Republicans. Like he was talking about Republicans and Democrats, and he was being just a centrist. He
that
didn't,
is such a centrist take.
which is like difficult. It's so fucking difficult for me to sit here and like one of the things that I talk about a lot in this podcast is how much I want just people to be more forward with their thoughts, to really take the mantle of saying I am someone with a full body, mind, and spirit that delivers a continuous and thoughtful position. Like Hillary Clinton was more homophobic than Yellowman. Bill Clinton was. Fucking Barack Obama was. And he was also saying this shit more openly before icons like Lady Gaga and Prince. I don't think Prince was homophobic. I don't think he was. He 100% knew a lot of facts.
He was just protecting his sponsorship deal.
He was just worried about not getting APAC money, okay? And so, like in Yellowman in 2017, he sat down with Counterpunch, which was a left-wing media outlet, and he talked about this. He said, yes, and he said some simple shit. They don't know that gay people are normal people. They don't know that gay people are nice people. Which, like, look, I could split some hairs. Like I am an adventurer in the Appalachians and I'm hungry and there's like 5 people in this camp and only 1 hair. Like I could split some hair. But like Yellowman seems to be for at least from 2005 to 2017, which is 12 years, be more progressive than a lot of people.
Which is kind of funny to kind of like make a slightly weird shift into it, but to bring it kind of more into a current standpoint. I don't know if you saw the Jennifer Lawrence post.
No.
Where she says, I don't know if I should speak out on Trump and U.S. politics to the press anymore. The first Trump administration was so wild, and just how can we let this stand? I feel like running like this is like a chicken with a head cut off. And she goes on and on, right? But it's funny to like read some of the comments that people take to this, where it's like not even not to shift too much away from the standpoint of like Yellowman being called homophobic when in reality no, but it's kind of just taking the weird stance that, like you said, people just won't be straightforward, and like I feel like that is more hurtful to the people as a whole.
It's also more cowardly. That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
It's just cowardly. Look, I don't know about this interview with Jennifer Lawrence, but all I know is that like if Jennifer Lawrence came out and said, look, I kind of hate this guy that's like black bagging people and shipping them off to who knows where to do know who knows what, it'd be pretty fucking chill if she did that. It'd be pretty chill. And so, like, yeah, I want Jennifer Lawrence to be like, yeah, I'm more against Donald Trump in his policies. Just like literally millions of people are. But I also just want more people to be so direct with their thoughts. Like Yellowman's not exactly like some like paragon, you know. He's not some resplendent knight of the fucking seventh circle of heaven, you know. He's just some guy. And because he's just some guy, he just speaks like just some guy. Like he later on in this like interview with Counterpunch, he talks about this law about like buggery, which just means like anal sex. And he doesn't even know where that law went. Did it pass? Did it not pass? Like he's not there. He's not like so connected to it that he's like keeping up with people and like lobbying. But he just kind of understands that this law should not exist.
Yeah.
So like I also looked around. I looked around and looked around and looked around and looked around to be like, where is this idea of homophobia coming from? And I couldn't figure it out. Like, does it exist? Sure. I'm happy to be wrong about like him having some homophobic lyrics or some like interviews where he was being homophobic. I'm happy to be wrong about that, but I just could not find it. You know what I could find? Some other contemporaries of Yellowman, a guy named Lloyd Lavendier. Lavendier?
Lavendier, I think it was.
He wrote this song called Don't Bend Down. This came out in 1986, years after Mister Yellowman and Zungguzungguguzeng. And this guy is doing something that Yellowman did not do in those two albums, where he is just directly homophobic, where he conflates being gay with being a pedophile. He has these lines where he says like, he promised you jewelry, don't bend down. Or a bag of money, don't bend down. Fancy clothes, don't bend down. If you touch your toes, don't bend down. This song starts with like a call and response of like him and like children voices. And so like it's very much him like talking to like children. And like is there like a creep running around? Maybe. But the song is not getting at that. I know that there's real homophobia here, and there is that real conflation that exists in 2025 when you read a little bit more of those lyrics. Like Down, he uses religion to like saddle his homophobia. He has these lines where it's like Adam and Eve, them set the trend. We pattern, we love life after them. So if you have a cock, you must have a hen. And if you are a Bowery, you have a girlfriend. You can't have two bulls in one pen. And if you are Adam, you must have an Eve. When you ready to give, let a woman receive. That is just homophobia.
God damn, that's fucked up.
And it's not about religion either. Like, the reason why I talked about Gaga is because she is famously a Christian. And I love that for her. That's wonderful for her. And being Christian doesn't equate you to being homophobic. Doesn't help. But like I just couldn't find what is the transgression that made Yellowman a homophobe. And it's hard. It's hard for me to sit here and see what is generally, honestly, anti-blackness with this general sense that Yellowman is this like figure that needs in his own Wikipedia to be described as homophobic versus like Sister Nancy or like Lloyd, this motherfucking Lloyd, you know, or like other figures. I just don't understand it.
Which is a weird standpoint that comes across a lot. Not to obviously generalize, but like not a cornerstone, but a concept within Rastafarianism is that it's love. And therefore, for love to exist, you need to be able to procreate. So therefore, that's the only way love could be. And it's fucked up to think that something like that, something preaching the one love, would reach out to this idea of like, no, you can't get down and dirty with the boys, you know? And not just that, you just can't get down and dirty with the boys. But even then, when you get someone like Yellowman, not even really, again, like I haven't really gone through all of his discography because like you said, he's got one album for every Jamaican there is. So it's like, sure, he might have said something that seemed homophobic, but we know he's not. And it's the contrast within that train of thought and being already just discriminated against just because he was born with an affliction, you know, born with
albinism.
Yeah, you know, and like I do see it as like as the way you put it, where it's like people seeing him as not a black Jamaican being like, oh no, that's fucked up. He said some stuff that's fucked up. That's why he's quote unquote the king of slacklessness, the vulgarity and the misogyny and the homophobicness. And I'm like, like, no one's brought up this Lloyd fuck. Like why aren't we talking about this guy? This guy's fucking.
Why doesn't this Lloyd guy have a section in his Wikipedia about homophobia? I don't know. And what I do know is that Yellowman has never been the president of the United States of America. He's also never been the Secretary of State of the United States of America. He's also never been the Prime Minister of England or the King of England. People with real power. People with real available power to pass laws, like, for example, the Defense of Marriage Act. Like, Yellowman has never been that. You know, he's got his wife, he's got his, like, children.
Kids and shit, yeah.
He probably has, like, some pizza in his hand. Or at least I want that for him.
He doesn't. He's very... This motherfucker's in the 70s, and he could kick both our asses how fit he is.
Like... I'm happy that he could do that, right? Like, yeah. Maybe when I'm 70, I could kick his ass, right? But what I do know is that he just has never been in those rungs of power. Mm-hmm. But then I think about 2025, you know, and sure, yeah, maybe he's not as vulgar in 2025, right? And maybe he's not as homophobic in 2025. But what I do know is that, like, it continues. The homophobia continues. Kim Davis, in 2015, denied 2 gay men a marriage license. This was after Obergefell and Hodges, the decision that made gay marriage legal. That's why I was talking about Obama and Clinton and Biden. I didn't bring up Biden, but like all these little freaks lined up as soon as Obergefell was in the Supreme Court to be like, you know, maybe homosexuals should be treated as like normal people. I never said that. But like, this was after Obergefell. And you know, like, Kim Davis spent 6 days in jail because she didn't do her job. And I don't think 6 days was enough.
No, it's not.
Like, she's a criminal. And she said, like, in these interviews, she said, oh, she's never said a word of hate, but her actions? What about her actions? Oh, I didn't say anything, but just my actions they were bad. They were criminal. She also said that she hasn't always been a good person. And you know what? Like, okay, same. Yeah. Okay, I am not, you know.
I've stolen candy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, I've had some Black Friday sales that, like, I'm not proud of. And, like, but you still aren't, you fucking dog. She's still not a good person. And she said that in 2015. Like she also went on to say in the same interview that she would reject the marriage licenses of gays and lesbians that she was friends with. Like, how can you say you haven't always been a good person? How can you reflect on that and still continue that, man?
But you gotta understand, some of my friends are gays and lesbians. I just won't sign their marriage certificate, but I'm cool with them because some of my friends.
It just and in 2015 maybe that could fly, but in 2025 no, it just can't. Kim Davis isn't like some like special figure that like is so
Needs to be
interesting.
martyred.
Not even that.
Yeah.
Not even that. The fact that she has one news article written about her is too much.
True.
It's too much. It's too much. 1 ounce of digital ink is too much. She literally found God in 2011. Like literally 4 years before she spent her time in jail.
Really? I didn't even know that.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. She was married 4 times. She's been married 4 times and she has had children outside of marriage. Like in this interview, she like cries about being called Hitler or being called hypocrite. She should be called worse. She should be called worse. She should be seen worse. She should be expected worse.
Because she has shown us her truth.
She should be called a criminal dog that is so rabid about her homophobia that she has spent the last 10 years not reflecting on dick. Because this year, on November 7th, the Supreme Court is going to hear arguments on whether or not they should take on a challenge against Obergefell v. Hodges. Like, it's hard for me to hear that Yellowman is homophobic when Kim Davis exists. It's hard for me to hear that a man that just is drinking red stripes at the beach and also called me up to join him, that he's more homophobic than Kim Davis because he has some lyrics. Like, his yellow ass is more vocal on gay rights than politicals, state bureaucrats, or legendary musicians. Like, check this out. Check this out. Check this out. It's so easy to not be homophobic. So easy. Like, I don't want to give Yellowman some flowers because in 2005 he said, don't be gay bashing.
Yeah.
Like, in 2025, the argument from the powerful is no longer that being gay is bad. It's that they want to direct state power to crush gay people. There is nothing stopping the Supreme Court from revoking gay marriage other than maybe John Roberts wiping his own ass with his own legacy as Chief Justice. But check this out. John Roberts was in the dissent. He dissented from Obergefell v. Hodges. Like, he has nothing. His ass is already fucking clean with his fucking legacy. Like, the bar is so far down in hell. Satan is suing and complaining about his mineral rights.
Being infringed upon.
It makes no fucking sense, man. It makes no fucking sense.
But apparently Yellowman's the pinnacle of homophobia.
Yeah. Yellowman called me queen in a non-supportive queer way.
Yeah. And he should be burnt at the stake for that, you know?
Look, Yellowman's one guy. He has no power. He's an old man. He literally survived cancer.
Twice.
And like he makes good fucking music. So if he wants to call me the F slur, honestly, as long as you're dropping a beat.
As long it's As long as it's to a show tune with a sick ass beat, you could go.
And he will never stand in my way from getting some pussy and putting a ring on it. Well, thank you, Coach Chris, for joining me today and bringing Yellowman into Dove Weather. I would ask you where people can find you, but you don't want to be found.
I don't.
ICE is watching.
Yeah. Hey, man. I'm glad to be here. Glad to bring another musical part to your podcast. I know you have talked about music without me, which I take offense to.
Good.
But yeah, it's nice. I'm glad we were able to talk about Yellowman, just like we were able to talk about King Crimson last time. And this is my call out to the people to say, I'm willing to meet you halfway. I know your go-to media is movies, so we could do Amadeus next and shit on Jerry Jones's bitch ass.
My boy Wolfgang.
Amadeus.
They gang, we game, Wolfgang? Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you, Coach Chris, for sitting down with me. I will say that Chicago is still occupied and Chicago is still showing up. Don't ever let anybody tell you you can't be black, brown, or yellow because you are the man, you are the woman, you are the they, them. Thank you for listening to Dove Weather. There are more shows to come. There's some more excitement to come. You can follow us everywhere at Dove Weather on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. You can find us everywhere, including your mom's phone. So,
Damn.
give us 5 stars. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.